A Meeting of the Guild by L.A. Young. My naked stomach slides like a puzzle piece next to Michael's warm buttocks, my breasts pressed against his back. He turns over and climbs on top of me, his smooth torso locking into mine. His waterbed gently ripples beneath us. I have to be at my thesis advisor's office in an hour. He wants to see my first draft. He groans. Next thing I know, my outstretched legs are rocking in rhythm with Michael's body. When I turn my head, I'm surprised to see an image of myself on the windowsill, my unflinching eyes watching the scene. I should be elated. I've devoted 4 years to my studies here at Berkeley, where I'm set to graduate summa cum laude in less than a month. But I'm more confused than ever. Michael and I have explored every inch of each other's flesh, but still he doesn't know me. In fact, no man I've ever met so far really knows me. My mother is the only one who is happy. Her brainy daughter is finally dating a nice Jewish pre-med student. Michael comes, withdraws, and flips over to catch his breath. As usual, he doesn't say anything, just smiles. When I get out of bed, I spot the lavender flyer my English professor gave me. Feminist Writers Guild meeting at the home of Athena Tigress Lily, San Rafael, California, Sunday, May 7th, 1978. All interested women writers invited. The taxi driver drops me off on a rotting deck facing a beat-up house with half-open windows and no screens. I regret wearing my tall platform sandals. The ground is rocky and full of dead leaves. I teeter towards the baby blue door and ring the bell and hear the sounds of what must be bare feet shuffling when the door opens. The woman in front of me can't be more than 100 pounds, and she doesn't have a stitch of clothing on. She's probably in her early 30s, and her stringy auburn hair strains to reach her shoulders while her long, unpolished fingernails are soiled with traces of earth. Everything about her seems to droop. Her eyelids, her shoulders, her stomach, her thighs, her knees, and, above all, her breasts. Her right hand stretches towards my left, the other hand holding a lit joint. Then I see hairs peeking out from underneath her armpits. Her voice resembles the caterpillar in the Disney animated version of Alice in Wonderland. Welcome, welcome to my peaceful abode. You must be Leslie, darling Leslie. I'm Athena. Athena Tigress Lily. And with that, she wraps her body around mine like the spiraling smoke from the burning joint. I almost pass out from the smell, but instinctively regain my balance when my eyes are met by a thin sliver of hair about an inch long growing from a mole protruding from Athena's upper lip. Before I can say anything, Athena takes hold of my arm and escorts me into the kitchen where, with a dramatic gesture, she opens the back door. I freeze when I see what is below. The large pool deck is speckled with lounge chairs supporting assorted-sized bodies of at least a dozen women, wearing only panties or bathing suit bottoms. Some on their backs while sunning themselves, some on their sides in deep conversation, and some flat on their bellies, slathered in suntan lotion. The peanut-shaped pool is home to a half a dozen topless women tossing a beach ball back and forth and squealing with delight. Attention, sisters! Athena is now waving the smoldering joint in the air. Let's welcome our darling Leslie, a new writer who's come to join us today. So everyone be hospitable. Hello, Leslie! All the women shout in unison, their eyes now on me. I suddenly become conscious of the fact that in my green polyester blouse, too tight beige cotton pants, and towering platform sandals, I am now the naked one. I faintly wave and smile, and then like a character in a Fellini movie, I drift past the pool in a perceived bubble of silence. I sense all the women watching me, and I feel the same way I used to feel in the freshman dorms, but this time I'm not trying to make an impression in front of the guys. Athena and her mole have now discreetly disappeared, and I scan the scene for an open place to sit. Can I get you something to drink? Oh, I turn my head towards the squeaky voice. The fair-skinned, slightly freckled, smiling face beneath a blonde bob is blocking the sun. She doesn't appear to have a bra on, and blonde hairs are trickling from her underarms as well. I start to wonder if all feminist writers are braless with lots of unshaven body hair. Sure. I drop into a cabana chair, shift uncomfortably, the back of my blouse soaked through. One strawberry Hanson's coming up. The cheerful blonde is back, holding a perspiring can of soda with a straw extended towards me like the snake out of its charmer's basket. Listen, my name's Joan, she says, holding out her hand. Athena can be pretty crazy sometimes. I mean, she was a debutante in DC and all. Oh, okay. Are you a member of the guild? Member? Joan pulls back and chuckles. Yeah, I guess you can call it that. We're just getting off the ground. I'm an editor at one of the big 5 publishing houses and a struggling writer. Been working on the same damn novel for 6 years now. High school girl falls in love with her female gym teacher. She tilts her head back and takes a slug of her beer. And what about you, Leslie? What brought you here today? Well, Joan seems normal enough, so I answer. I've been trying to write my senior thesis on women in American literature, but I'm stuck. Oh, I know just how that feels, she sighs, and then leans over, her tank top brushing against my shoulder. I like the sensation of the cool cotton tank top against me. A thin line of sweat drips down the crevice between my breasts. Maybe going in the pool would help, but then I remember all the topless women in there and my face heats up. So tell me more about your thesis, Leslie. I start to recount my problems putting together my research, and to my surprise, Joan is listening to me, like she cares what I'm writing about. When I finish, she spends at least 15 minutes gently prodding me with questions, such as, why is that important, or why do I feel that way? Talking to a woman who is interested in my project and my goals seems so, well, natural. I take another sip of my Hanson's and think about my weekend spent with Michael. He doesn't care what I'm passionate about. Come to think of it, no man I've ever met has ever really encouraged me to pursue what I'm passionate about. Is that why I'm so good at doing what is expected of me? So good that after a while I stopped dreaming for myself? The following day, I jog from my place to Michael's. I can't wait to tell him about all the writers I met at Athena's, but I decide to leave out the part about most of the women being naked. Not long into my run, I'm panting hard, my thoughts bobbing like fish hooks hinged on the edge of Athena's pool with all the women hopping inside. I realize that the women I met at Athena's that day were highly unconventional, and they weren't trying to hide it. In fact, the more I think about that day, the more I understand that these women shout out who they are. As I get closer to Michael's apartment, I catch sight of the open window to his bedroom. I jog up the steps 2 at a time and turn the key in the lock. As I open the door, I see a groaning Michael in precisely the same position he was in with me 2 nights earlier, but this time with a blonde-haired woman rocking under him. I leave the door open, and I am off, running down the steps, back across the campus to my place. I may not know what I'm looking for, but I know it's away from here. That night, I tell Michael over the phone that it's over. After turning in my thesis 1 week later, I ran into Joan at a women's book event and thanked her for her help that afternoon on Athena's pool deck, and officially joined the guild.
Tell me a little bit about how it feels to have just done that piece on stage.
Oh, wonderful. Seeing it come to life and having the different characters and being able to perform somebody's
memoir is really important and exciting, and feels very special to be a part of that.
What would you say to your writer, L.A. Young, tonight?
Thank you. And I hope she's proud of herself for everything that she's accomplished and everything that she's learned about herself, and keep writing.
This is your second memoir showcase. How's the experience been?
Wonderful. It's always nerve-wracking, of course, being part of somebody's storytelling, but that's what makes it so important, and you just spend that much more time and energy and put so much love into your piece to make sure that it comes across to the audience.
As an actor, what would you tell writers that are maybe a little nervous to apply to the memoir showcase? What would you tell the writers?
Oh gosh. Write and have fun and go for it. Just go for it. Give us something to do next year. Thank you.